Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So happy Saturday. Get ready. Bitcoin and crypto holders, man, it's looking pretty good. But I am here to argue it's going to get better. There is a special date that's coming up. So we all need to mark it on our calendar. Watch out for this date, because it's going to get better. But right now, things are looking good. So let's talk about what's going on with Bitcoin and crypto and what else to expect. All right, let's do this. Welcome, guys. Look at how good it is. We are trending upwards, closing in at 30,000 once again. 29,885. Okay, slowly trending upwards. Now, the U.S. market is not doing so well. Okay, look at what happened on Friday. Friday, Dow ended almost negative 300. NASDAQ minus 200. So right now, we definitely see a decoupling. Look at Dow Jones, right? And then look at Bitcoin. So October has certainly lived up to its name so far for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has gone up quite a lot this month so far. And we still got a couple weeks to go, right? So this is awesome. You know, prior to this, when like NASDAQ and S&P and Dow was going up, Bitcoin was stagnant, and people complained about decoupling. You know, decoupling works both ways. Right now, U.S. markets look really weak, but Bitcoin is looking very strong. And this is definitely the right time for it, because it's going to bring a lot more money into the space, because people are going to notice this, right? And of course, more money is coming into space already, because people are also noticing this, that the U.S. deficit problem is getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Our budget gap soars to 1.7 trillion, largest outside of COVID era. And this year is not over yet. I mean, just look at this. The federal deficit, you know, before, we actually had some plus years, 2000 era. And then it got worse. And then 2010-ish got really worse. 2020, really worse. But, you know, it hasn't really died down. Our deficit problem just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So a lot of people are starting to pay attention to this, okay? Even though I talk about a lot how our financial system is built on a house of cards, a lot of people are starting to notice, well, this is a thing, right? Without a debt ceiling, the U.S. government could just print unlimited amount of money and accrue a limited amount of debts right now, because essentially the nation is broke, right? But we keep on spending more and more and more and more, okay? Now, something else that doesn't help the situation is that banks, okay, are starting to see less deposits, even though all the major banks recently did report decent earnings. But let's not forget, those are just like the big tier 1 banks. What about tier 2, like regional banks and smaller banks, right? Or even like something like Charles Schwab, which is not really a traditional bank at all. They're down 30% with their deposits this year. A lot of fear about Charles Schwab, because very little people are actually depositing and buying stocks at this point. You know why? Because they're buying crypto. That's why. No, I don't know if that's the real reason, but it does make a whole lot of sense. So we do also have a lot of banks that are struggling right now as well. That's why another rate hike in the U.S. would be kind of disastrous, right, for a lot of small banks. Look at American Express up 20%. That looks impressive, but why is American Express going upwards? Because more people are putting their money or putting their spending on credit cards. I mean, that's how I'm interpreting that. Anyways, going forward, more and more people are flocking away, okay, from what is and choosing a better asset, okay, a better market overall. AKA, this is a transition, flight to quality, okay? So that's exactly what's happening right now. Even BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said this recently. Okay, people are starting to pay attention to what's going on, and they're choosing something better. Okay, flight to quality. That's what they're doing. They're transitioning from the equities market, the bond market. Certainly, the bond market looks absolutely horrible right now, and they're flocking to Bitcoin and crypto and everything else. That's why Bitcoin is so strong right now, decoupled basically 100% away from the U.S. markets and just doing its own thing. Remember Jim Cramer? I played this clip. This was like, I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. Remember Jim Cramer telling everyone he can't recommend Bitcoin because Mr. Bitcoin's going to go down in a big way? Everyone always picks on Cramer, saying inverse Cramer is always right. And another example that Cramer or inverse Cramer is right. Okay, Paul Tudor Jones just came out, again, a huge self-made billionaire, said that, hey, I don't like the way the U.S. looks. I'm going to put more of my money into gold and Bitcoin. And Jim Cramer immediately afterwards said, no, I don't like gold and I don't like Bitcoin because Bitcoin's going to go down a big way. And since then, Bitcoin has gone up another 10% and probably going up a lot more from here. So, hate to say it, inverse Cramer, at least when it comes to Bitcoin, is 100% accurate. No, it's not 100%, but it's pretty accurate. Let's just put it that way. Okay. And also, Robert Kiyosaki recently said this: gold will soon break 2,100 and then take off. You will wish you had bought gold below 2,000. Next step for gold, 3,700. I have never seen 3,700 in my lifetime because it never happened before. So that would be pretty amazing to see. But what I'm more interested is the second part of this tweet. Bitcoin testing 30,000. Next stop, Bitcoin 135,000. Does he mean by the end of this cycle or a halving event or the end of the year? I don't know. But, you know, Robert, who has always been a gold and silver guy, has now also turned into a Bitcoin guy. Okay, he knows. He knows flight to quality, right? Basically what Larry Fink just said, but Robert's been saying it for a long time. So everyone is looking at Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin is so strong. Now, short term, we got a lot of goodness happening, right? You look at some of the fractal patterns versus prior cycle, prior bottoms, prior breakouts, however you want to define it. But we're looking like we're going through one of those steps right now, right? Just like in 2015 before we broke out, in 2019, we had a little dip in 2020 because of the COVID thing. That's like the only asterisk thing that really kind of screwed things up. But right now it's looking like same thing. That's why 30,000 is so hard to break, because all these chartists are noticing that 30,000 is important. It's not just an important psychological level, but there are a lot of important resistance and moving averages and signals that are, you know, right at that 30,000. So here's another one. Okay, I don't even know what chart, what is this called, but basically it's measuring a couple of crossovers. Number one, on the bottom, you can see a crossover event happening. And number two, we're breaking out. And according to this Titan of Crypto, his chart, immediate target is 48 to 57,000. I would be very ecstatic if that happened. Now, I don't think that's likely to happen this year, but who knows? We're already at 30,000. If we get Grayscale's ETF, you know, the conversion of their trust to ETF, that could push us up another 10,000 immediately. We could be going up to 35, 40,000 within a week after a spot Bitcoin ETF approval, right? And then we still have 2 months left of the year. And then we have the Santa rally. And as people notice, Bitcoin decoupling from U.S. markets, which are probably going to be red, right? More and more people flow in. So can we see 48,000, 57,000 by the end of this year if all of these things come true? I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it could happen. If not, it's okay. We know it's going to come. We know it's going to come next year for sure. Here's another one, right? Basically showing this, this descending trend line. Again, right around 30,000 mark. That's why 30,000 is so kind of like, it's a hard resistance to break. But according to Mags, this is a textbook bump and run reversal. And basically, it has just happened, right? But according to this, we might go up a little bit, come back down, retest the line, and then go upwards. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. And here's another one showing this 2.25-year descending channel that Bitcoin has struggled to break above. But we're right there, and we have just broken above, just like what happened before in 2020. So again, a lot of similarities to a lot of previous times, right? So are we doing it? Are we going to break out? Yes. It's just a matter of when, not if. And we're going up still, 29.9. Can we break 30,000 to hold above 30,000 during this stream? It's looking like there's a really good chance of that. So that is awesome. Now, I've been hyping up this date, okay? Even though all of these great things are going to happen, is there something even better right around the horizon? Something even better than a spot Bitcoin ETF approval? I don't know. You could argue this. Maybe, maybe not. But this also relates to the SEC and relates to a crypto that's not Bitcoin. And that is Ripple. Okay, well, no. This is the wrong slide. But before I get into Ripple, this also talks about 30,000 Bitcoins leaving the exchanges too. Okay, so that is enormous, obviously. Again, supply going down, demand going up. But I wanted to bring up Ripple's case, November 9th. That is also an important date coming up in, less than a month. Okay, why is it important? Because this is when the SEC and Ripple finally talks about moving forward with their lawsuit or basically dismissing it. All signs are pointing to the SEC will relent and just give up, just like they did with the suits against the founders, Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse. They basically have no case. They were supposed to talk about it in April of next year, and the SEC just said, forget it. We have no case. We're just going to not pursue it. So, I mean, think about it. That's like 6 months ahead of time, right? So, basically, everything the SEC has argued against Ripple, against Brad and Chris, against XRP, that's 3 losses in a row, and this one will be the 4th. Okay, SEC will probably try to save face and try to get Ripple to pay some kind of fine or something so they can say they did something. But knowing Brad, I don't think they're going to negotiate. They're not going to pay. This lawsuit already costed Ripple $200 million, right? So I do think this could be a huge catalyst, not only for XRP, but for the entire space, because this sets the precedent for everything else that the SEC has lined up, including their lawsuit against Coinbase, right? If they dismiss this and basically the courts decide and rule that, hey, just because a token had a ICO, had a token sale, and just because it's being sold on exchanges, that doesn't necessarily make it an automatic security, right? That's basically what this case is defining. So just because those two things happen does not make that token a security automatically. There are still other criteria to look at. But the reason why SEC sued Coinbase was because they're arguing everything is a security just because it's sold on an exchange. But they don't have that argument anymore. So they would have to go after each and every project that they think is a security and prove their case rather than define everything as a security. That's what this means. So most likely Ripple will win, SEC will lose, and then Coinbase is going to win. And who knows? Binance might win too, because Binance is being attacked by the SEC. And several other exchanges also have been sued, right? And even Paxos, they got sued for stable coins, who the SEC is arguing is also securities, even stable coins, right? So this sets the precedent for a lot of things. So I do think November 9th comes, SEC loses, and we're going to get a big pump because of that too. This is on top of everything else that I just said. So pretty big. Pretty big. I don't know how anyone could be bearish on Bitcoin right now, right? I've been saying it for a long time, and I know some people will argue, well, you just sound like a broken clock. Eventually you'll be right. But here's the thing. I know this. I know I'm going to be right. I know Bitcoin will come up and will break its previous high and go up much higher. And not just Bitcoin, Web3, because we already see it. We already see the expansion and evolution of Web3. And I know for a fact that it's going to be much better and bigger and more widely used in the future. You could see it with your eyes. And with Bitcoin, obviously, people are seeing it with our debt issue, with inflation, with distrust in central banks or politicians or leaders of nation states. People can see it. And if you truly understand those things, screw the lines, screw the fractal patterns. You know that people want a flight to quality or a flight to safety, and that's Bitcoin. You really can't argue against those points. I don't think so. I just don't think you can. If you're paying attention, you just can't. All right. Now, speaking of Ripple, most likely their plans are once they win after November 9th, guess what's going to happen? They're probably going to do an IPO, okay? Because Brad will be seen as one of the, the big dogs in the space. To have taken down the SEC, it's going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely huge. But he did say this. He's not a XRP maxi. He recognizes there's a place for other coins as well, like Bitcoin. But he does think XRP is extremely efficient. Of course, he has to say that because he knows it's his self-interest. Because they own an enormous amount of XRP out there, right? But Brad Garlinghouse is looking pretty good these days for defeating the SEC and doing it not just for himself, but for the entire space. So that's looking pretty good. Now, a couple other crypto projects that are doing very, very well right now. Solana is on an unstoppable path right now. I can't explain why, but Solana just keeps on pumping and pumping and pumping. Maybe because there were a lot of selling before because people were afraid that FTX was going to dump everything and, the case is ongoing. And now maybe people realize, well, they're not going to dump. They can't because most of it's locked in and they just staked even more. I don't know, but Solana is coming up in a big, big way. Solana is now at number 7. It's up 8% today. And the gap between Solana and Cardano is now very vast. They were neck and neck. Now they're 3 billion apart. So Solana is also doing very well today and basically for the whole week. Also, Chainlink is gaining strength. Chainlink is kind of like a backbone, the Oracle, the biggest decentralized Oracle network we have that all DeFi projects basically depend on, right? They're also doing well. And the holders are accumulating quite a lot, $39 million in 1 week, okay? Yes, and another project I don't talk a lot about, but I just kind of hinted it yesterday, I believe, is while I was scrolling through. Stacks, which is basically programmable language on top of Bitcoin, is skyrocketing 26% this week. Why is it skyrocketing? Well, because Stacks was built to make Bitcoin more programmable. And there are a lot of dApps that's on board right now utilizing Stacks, and they're being built on Bitcoin, like DEXs and NFT marketplaces and stablecoins, even tokens, NFTs. They're all utilizing Stacks and getting it done. So I think that's the reason why Stacks is going higher. And they have a really unique staking mechanism too. So there's a lot of crypto right now. I know Bitcoin obviously has the most strength right now, but there are a lot of projects that's doing very, very, very well right now. And Bitcoin is about to shatter 30,000. 29,935. Come on. Let's see Bitcoin break above 30,000 in the stream during Q&A. It's getting very, very close. But man, so many good things are about to come. We got the grayscale conversion that could be right around the corner. We got this big SEC ruling against XRP or Ripple November 9th, right? Bitcoin is also the flight to quality, flight to safety right now with Americans that are fed up with what the Fed and our government is doing. And same thing for other countries around the world that are also going through the same thing, especially countries that are suffering hyperinflation, right? This is the time to be in Bitcoin. And it's not too late to get in because we're not back at 69,000, right? You can make the argument if Bitcoin is 69,000, maybe it's time to, take a breather, but we're not there, right? We're far off from 69,000, but here's the thing. I don't show this a lot, but let's zoom out a little bit if I could figure out how to zoom out. I hate this new reset price scale. All right, how do I take auto off? I hate auto. Okay, so like I drew out this orange line, right? If you're looking at it, this is like our peaks, and it goes all the way back. But if you look at this, by 2025, if we're going like this way, man, we're this is just the beginning of 2025 right here. So the end of 2025 is like all the way back here. So if we like kind of do this and then this and this, man, by 2025, our next peak will be around, 200, 250, 300,000-ish. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's do some Q&A. We got 3,200 people here on a Saturday morning or afternoon. That's a record. Well, not a record, but I haven't seen that in a very, very long time. And today I am streaming on X too. Let's see how many people are watching on X. 47. Not bad. Too bad, you still can't do live chat on X, or you have to be a subscriber or something. Let's leave this. All right. A lot of chatting going on. Let's see. There's so many chats. Now I'm missing a lot of them. So if I can't scroll to the top, I apologize. It starts cutting off now, and this is even with slow chat turned on. Maxo says, I love you. You give my life meaning. I appreciate that. Thank you. Jose says, Chainlink needs to break above 9, and then it's going to go to the moon. Yeah, I don't disagree. if you're not low to high, says if you're not buying XRP, then what are you doing? Yeah. Crypto Cappy is a new member. Welcome. Welcome to the channel, my man. Let's see. 30K so close. Solana is back. We're going to break 30K soon. Yep. I stake my stacks and get Bitcoin in return. Yep, Robert. Stacks have a really unique staking mechanism. They're really tied in with Bitcoin. Growvember. I like to call it Pumpvember, but I think someone said it's what's the official name for November? Moonvember. That's what it's supposed to be. Moonvember or Pumpvember. Gensler has taken so many L's in court. It's like he's getting the strap on in the behind. Oski or Oski. Yeah. I think that's that sums it up pretty well. John, I appreciate that. I am happy to be back. Luckily, that ban was just 1 day. Less than a 1 day. We're so close. That 30,000 is hard to break. I showed you guys. There's a lot of bears, a lot of shorters do not want that 30,000 to break because, you know, that pushes us a lot higher if we do, right? This 31.6 also has been a very, very hard resistance to break. So if we break about 30,000, we might break up to about 31.6. If we break through that, then, you know, it's like 35 afterwards. If we get a spot Bitcoin ETF approval, a real one like Grayscale's Trust being converted to a spot Bitcoin ETF, we'll shatter all of these things like in no time. We'll probably be right at 40,000 within a week if that happens. Flight to quality. That's what Bitcoin is about. Look at this. U.S. bonds faced a historic sell-off. That's why rates are so high, because people are actually selling off their bonds. Long-term bonds have plummeted 20% in 6 months, are down 53% since March of 2020. You know, during March, when a lot of bankers told people, hey, it's going to get bad, you know, go stock up on bonds. Well, had you listened, you know, you would be down 53%. But had you picked up Bitcoin at $4,000 in March, you do the math, you'll be up several 100% higher. Jolama says, George, since Cardano seems to be the clear ETH winner or ETH killer, what are the chances of it flipping ETH, not in this run, but in the next one? I don't agree with you. I don't think it's clear that it's a ETH killer. Charles may talk like that, but I don't think it's clear that that's actually the case. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you there. There are many other L1s that are suited for that purpose also, but the space is certainly big enough for more than one chain, right? So Ethereum will still be around, Cardano will still be around, Solana will still be around, Binance Smart Chain will still be around, Avalanche will still be around in the coming cycles, right? So I don't know if I agree with that. Alexandria, 2 years. I really appreciate you. Thank you. I know you're in here quite often. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Man, we're just so close. Come on. We just need a little push. A little push to get above 30,000 once again. But today, let's look. We're up 3.5%. Well, now that I refresh, it's not. Anyways, we're still up. You know, today in the top 10, the big gainer is, of course, Solana at plus 8%. Cardano's not bad, plus almost 4%. And you got Polygon moving. I want to see Polygon get back in the top 10. It should not be down here. But look at Chainlink. You know, I just got done talking about Chainlink, the backbone to basically every DeFi project there is. Up 19%. I didn't even notice that it went up this much today, but man, Chainlink is having a really, really good day. I've always said this about Chainlink, right? Chainlink goes through these very long periods of just being stagnant, not moving, and people get very frustrated. The Link army will say, you know, why isn't Chainlink moving, right? It always does this all the time. But when it moves, it moves. Right now, it's moving. 40% in the last 60 days. Chainlink is gaining a lot of strength right now, right? What else? Lido is doing well. Aptos is having a good day. Another L1, you know, could be called a Ethereum killer. Is it a Ethereum killer? It's too early to make that call right now. Stacks, not good today, but up 35% in the last 2 months. So they're doing also pretty well. Immutable is doing well today. I mean, there's a lot of greens today. Phantom, even though they've been through a lot of hacks, they're still up 9% today. So good for them. Any other standouts for today? Nope, that's it. Brooklyn Tall, don't ask me about that garbage. Let me see if I missed anything else. Simba CryptosRus have gotten some capital from crypto. I hold a lot of Bitcoin around 20K. I'm thinking about what else is good for small mid caps. Not financial advice. What do you suggest? Stacks, ETH. Hey, you know, I've always said 50, 25, 25 rule, right? It seems like you're not following that. 50% in Bitcoin, 25% in big caps. What is a big cap? Big cap right now, I would say, is anything plus 10. Okay, so 2 through 10 big caps, and then 25% in mid caps, small caps, micro caps, right? So doesn't seem like you're following that. Maybe you should. Getting more and more people in here. A lot of people excited this morning about our rise. In case you're tuning in late and you're wondering what that big mysterious date is November 9th. November 9th. That is when I think SEC will say to Ripple that we're dropping the suit. But I think they want to meet because they want to save some face. They want Ripple to basically give them some money. I think so, because that's the only way they could save face and say, oh, you know, we got like $1 million or $2 million from Ripple, even though they plead they're not guilty, you know, something like that, right? But I think Brad will just tell the SEC to F off, and we're not paying you anything. What is your price prediction for Avalanche and Solana for next bull run? You know, people have asked me this. People asked me, what did someone ask me the other day? Can Solana hit 500 in 2025? I would say this: if Bitcoin does hit 250,000 by the end of 2025, then can Solana hit 500 at that point? Yes. But if Bitcoin doesn't go as much, then Solana probably, I would say, between 200-300. Avalanche, same way. Can it do a 20x from here? So let's just round up $10. Can it go to, 200, 300 from here? Yeah, I think so. I mean, keep in mind, the market cap for crypto is, or has always been, inflated, right? So, can this next bull run cause a lot of these crypto to skyrocket 10, 15, 20x? I think 10x is very, very, very doable. 15 to 20x will depend on how much FOMO there is in 2025. It just comes down to it. Is removing a crypto from exchanges taxable? No. If you put in your own wallet, no. But if you exchange it or trade it or swap it for anything, then yes. Troy McDrain says, I prefer 190x possibilities over 8x. More fun. More fun. Gambling's more fun. And that's what you're doing if you're looking for projects that'll give you 190x. Not saying it won't happen. Every cycle, there's always a surprise, something that stands out and does do 190x or 1000x. But they're very rare. And they're not certain for sure. Jolama says, Solana is like 99% owned by VCs. And FTX, that should be a red flag. ADA, meanwhile, is completely decentralized and built to last. That may be true. But when it comes to network effect and money flowing in, they're kind of two separate things. And ADA is not completely without VCs. ADA, Cardano, did have an ICO back in Japan in its early days. There are still some VCs and early investors, right? I get what you're saying. It's trying to be the most decentralized chain out there. But that doesn't always equate to the fastest moving or becoming the largest. What is your price prediction for ICP and Near Protocol? I don't follow neither one. ICP is like Blockchain Boy's like most favorite project. So he knows a lot more about it than I do. I've never been a big fan of ICP. And Near Protocol is like a mini Solana, so it'll probably move around the same. Man, it's like being the Oprah show. Everyone gets a gift. Len gifted 10 memberships the other day, and now he's gifting 5 more. Thank you, Len. I appreciate that. I don't even know how you gift memberships. How do you give a membership? Oh, my live chat just disappeared. I guess I can't gift memberships when I'm in the live chat myself. Anyways, appreciate it, Len, for being so generous. Chris, stop it. uh, Ashkor, new member, welcome. What about Kujay? I have no idea what project that is. Kujera? 105 million. This is a meme coin. I'm assuming this is a meme coin. I'm just going to look it up. The blockchain for real yield. Decentralized ecosystem for protocols, builders. It's not a meme coin. I'm wrong. I take that back. So they're L1 within Cosmos. Using Coswasm. And what else? I think I've seen this done before. Liquidate multiple assets across the whole of Cosmos. At a click of a button. The first public marketplace for liquidated collateral. First decentralized permissionless on-chain order book style token exchange. Okay. Goes money market. So they're a big DeFi project. You can stake, you can swap. Yeah. So they're like a big DeFi project, I guess, within Cosmos. Doesn't sound bad. Doesn't sound bad. Let's see, 1 year performance. They just broke out into 1 year. All time, they're like they got to go up like 300% to get back there. It came out in 2020. What a horrible time to be coming out. Chef X3, I appreciate you. Appreciate you saying that. Man, this stream is going longer than I wanted to, but there's like more and more people coming in. 3,300 people in here on a Saturday morning. Don't you guys have something better to do? Go spend some time with your family and friends, or go walk your dog. I put out a very profound message last night. It kind of hit me, you know, like whenever I put these deep thoughts out, and I'm not saying I made it up, but when I hear it, I think it's very powerful. But people, I don't know, some people hate this. So look at this. Would you accept 10 million or even 100 million if you live only one more day of your life? The answer is no. I don't think anyone would choose the money over their life, right? So if not, then why are you not treasuring each and every day as if it was priceless? If you take a second to think about it, you know, think about how deep that is, right? Life is precious and priceless. No one would trade their life, not even for 100 million, not even for $1 billion. Not even if Elon offered you $100 billion for your life, I don't think anyone would trade. Not anyone. There will be some people that are desperate because they're so in debt. They probably take that. But I'm saying normal people, right? If your life is priceless, why not live and treat it that way? I think that's very profound and deep. Very, very, very deep. Whether you guys care, I don't know. But I think that's a really interesting way to think about life. Can your family keep after? Yes, you could give it to them. We're going up again. 29,932. Come on, we're only less than $70 away. All right. Well, I think on that note, I'm going to take off. Here's the bottom line, guys. This is time to be greedy, not fearful. I've been saying that for a while, and I truly believe it. If you truly understand that Bitcoin is a flight to safety, flight to quality, flight to freedom, you will have no fear about loading up on Bitcoin, okay? And everything else, you have like Stacks, Chainlink, you got Solana, XRP, you got a lot of other projects out there that are really, really good, and they're doing very well, and I think they're going to do even better in the coming years, right? So, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys on Monday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I will have a recap video tomorrow, and I'll go for one of my infamous walks and do a video, maybe less ranty, because I don't know if my last rant got me in trouble or what, but yeah, I'll do that again. I'll keep doing it until it gets too cold. But yeah, that's it. All right. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys later. All right. Bye-bye.